busy schedule to come and join us today. And we really hope that you're going to make the most of today's event. So for the students, we have some rules. First and foremost, no loitering around unnecessarily, please. And please, once a speaker is speaking, you maintain silent. Plus, the washrooms are behind you there. In case you need to use the washrooms, kuna watu in the reflectors, they'll guide you. Sawa? Okay. To kickstart this event, I would like to call upon Brother Ahlan for the Quran recitation. Please come on stage. You maintain silence, please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألف لام ميم. أحسب الناس أن يتركوا أن يقولوا آمنا وهم لا يفتنون. ولقد فتنا الذين من قبلهم فليعلمن الله الذين صدقوا وليعلمن الكاذبين. أم حسب الذين يعملون السيئات أن يسبقونا ساء ما يحكمون. من كان يرجو لقاء الله فإن أجل الله لآت وهو السميع العليم. ومن جاهد فإنما يجاهد لنفسه إن الله لغني عن العالمين. صدق الله العظيم.
Takbir. Takbir. Thank you so much, Brother Ahlan, for that beautiful recitation. And now, to begin the program, we are pleased to have our Muslim Student Association of the University of Nairobi Executive Chairman, Brother Mohammed Abdul, to deliver the opening remarks. Please give him a big round of applause as he comes.
أحييكم بتحية من عند الله المبارك وهي السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين. I must say that indeed it is so great to be in this hall so that we can host our first Muslim Student Association, University of Nairobi High School Students Conference since Msaun was formed. I think you are seeing the banner. Msaun is an abbreviation of the Association of Muslims in the University of Nairobi. And as our MC has introduced me, the current I'm the current chairperson, the chairman, a third-year student at the University of Nairobi, but I study in Nairobi. I don't study in Mombasa campus. So it is an honor, and I must say that we are so privileged to have all of you in this hall. As time goes by, we will have others coming, and inshallah, today is going to be a very beneficial day because the program that we have for you guys, it's something so educative, so interactive, and if you have the intention of benefiting from this event, you will benefit. Because what I can assure you as the chairperson, we have hosted many events before, but today's event is a special event dedicated for you guys. We will have a session for you to ask questions. We'll have a session for you to interact with our partners. What do they have to tell you guys? We'll have a session to have lunch together, and we'll have a session for the panel discussion in the afternoon. So anytime you feel that this event is not of any benefit, remind yourself that you have something to learn by the end of the day. So I don't want to speak much. I'll talk as time goes by, but I want you to feel most welcome. Please cooperate with the rules set aside. Anytime we have a speaker speaking, let us maintain silence, and if you have anywhere to write down, please note it down. So thank you so much, the MC, and I think it's an honor to give the opening remarks.
Thank you so much, Abdul, for that wonderful remarks. Now allow me to welcome an important pillar of our community. This pillar wears many hats. He's a listener that's always there to hear all our problems, an advisor that offers clarity, and a mentor that always steers us gently through righteousness. His doors are always open, whether it's for a heartfelt conversation or even a cup of tea. Please join me in welcoming our esteemed chaplain, Ustad Muhammad Abdullah, to share his insights on the topic of youth and morality. Please welcome Ustad.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والعاقبة للمتقين، ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، قال سبحانه وتعالى بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق، خلق الإنسان من علق. Mine at this juncture, since we are waiting for the Minister of Mombasa County, and he told me it's just around the corner. I think my topic will come after him. But at this point in time, I want to welcome you wholeheartedly to this program. And I'm sure you will benefit. There are things you know, there are things you have forgotten, you'll remember, you'll be reminded, and there are things you don't know. And this is the learning process. And I'm really impressed that, especially for the girls, I don't know if more girls' schools were invited, or maybe they were invited in equal number, but the response from the girls is more than from the boys' school. I don't know what is the reason in Mombasa, but even in Nairobi, most of the programs are highly attended by the girls, least attended by the boys. I think the boys, they know more than the girls. That's why they don't attend this program. But these programs, all in all, are very beneficial in one way or the other. It's a learning process. And the first 5 verses, if you vividly remember, which were revealed to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the cave of Thawr, were which verses? Naam, sijui kama naweza kutembea. Wajua walimu hawakuzoea kusimama sehemu moja. Sijui kama nitawakasi, wacha nisimame hapo nilipowekwa. Haina neno. Okay. Tupo. Au watu wa Mombasa wanasemaje? Tupo. Au mupo. Mupo. Yes. Iqra. Okay. Iqra. And the chapter's name? Alaq. Naona kama ambao very early. You kama huko, are you coming from boarding schools, all of you? No. Sijui kama mmekula breakfast asubuhi? No. Kwani Msaun mbona mkuwekea breakfast? Inaonekana kama either hamjakula breakfast au kuna network fail. Unajua saa nyingine unaambiwa, unapiga simu unaambiwa mteja wa nambari uliopiga hapatikani till next year. Sasa unashangaa na unauliza kwani atapatikana saa ngapi? Unaambiwa next year. Vijana mupo? Naam? Mimi sidhani kama mupo. Hamupo. I'm 110% sure kwamba hamupo. Naam? Niwaambie kwa nini hamupo? Niwaambie? Nimesema ya kwamba aya hizi za mwanzo aliteremshiwa Bwana Mtume sallallahu alaihi wasallam while at the cave of Thawr. Is that correct? Maskini. Naam. Is that correct? No. Niwaambie hamupo. 120%. Kwa hivyo, if you look at these 5 verses which were revealed to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you'll find that 6 out of the 20 words, you can count the words of the 5 verses. 6 of the 20 words are either directly or indirectly connected to learning, knowledge, and education. You can count. And in fact, the first word is Iqra. And Iqra is in which format? Fi'lu Amr. If it is Fi'lu Amr, does it mean that if you wish you can learn, if you wish you don't? No. It means that it is a compulsory, it is an obligation. And then look at the science in it. Sijui kama kila mmoja anafanya biology hapa. Mimi nilifanya biology last time in 1986. Lakini you can see the biology or embryology in the verses. Alaq. What does alaq mean? Nam? Cling. I can't hear. You kama kuna mic iko chini. Sijui time yangu imekusha mwanzo. Just welcoming. inaonekana nitachukua initially the time ya governor. Clot of blood. Okay, clot of blood. Mwingine? Alaq, other than the clot of blood. Clot of blood is one of the meaning out of the 3 meanings. Just one meaning. When you say alaq, it is just one meaning out of the 3. When you say alaq, it also means something which clings. Clings. And when you say alaq also, it means leech-like structure. Leech-like structure. So mnajua leech? L-E-E-C-H. Yule ambaye anafyonza damu. Wakati wa alaq stage, ile alaq inafyonza damu. It's a clot of blood na inafyonza damu kutoka, tulikuwa kufyonza damu ya mama yetu yani. Na ndio lazima ilikuwa apate a more nutrient a balanced diet ili aweze ku keep up with the 2, herself and the one inside the womb yani. Kwa hivyo utapata the nitty gritty ya science in these 5 verses. Ni kama Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala anataka ku ignite our minds. Kwamba you should also look outside the box. Masala ya looking at the development of an embryo in the womb of our mothers is something which came later in time. Very later. And in fact, if you look at the development of the microscope and the magnifying glass, the first magnifying glass to be invented was in 1677. 1677. The verse was revealed in 610. Almost 1,000 years later. Kisha microscope is a just later stage. Kwa hivyo hata hizi structure zilikuwa haziwezi kuonekana without the development of this magnifying glass and microscope, whether it is light microscope or electronic microscope or whichever microscope. Again, welcome, since sitaki kuchukua time ya mheshimiwa hapa. Kwa hivyo mheshimiwa amekuja, wacha mimi topic yangu itakuja, hiyo ilikuwa ni 1 hour, tutavuruga mheshimiwa, tutavuruga program yote. Wacha mimi ni topic yangu will come later. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you so much, our chaplain. Before we go ahead, I would like to recognize the presence of Al-Ihsan TV and Al-Hajar TV. And mind you, they are airing us live right now, so you can watch us on YouTube. Plus, I would like to recognize the presence of the Imperial Education Consultants. They are just right behind you there. I would also like to recognize the presence of the following schools: Khamis Boys Secondary School, Sharif Nasir Secondary School, Sacred Heart Secondary School, Sheikh Khalifa, Abu Huraira, and Mekatilili. Thank you so much once again for coming. I would now like to request our Msaun Executive Council Chairman to come and invite our guest speaker on stage, Brother Abdul.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh once again. It's an honor and privilege to have Dr. Mwarali Kame, who will grace this event as the chief guest for this event. I must say that Dr. Mwarali is representing the governor. We had sent an invitation to the governor, so he's here on behalf of the governor. And one thing I like about Dr. is that Dr. started his career journey as a high school teacher. As a high school teacher, the teachers that we degrade back in our schools, the teacher that we call them as a poor personnel roaming around the school corridors, the teachers that we say that in my life, I rather be a businessman selling something small but not be a teacher. Because education, education as a cause. As we speak right now, most of our Muslim students, 2% of them, you'll hear them, I want to be teachers. Uongo ama ukweli? Uongo ama ukweli? How many of us want to be teachers in this world? Let us just be sincere. How many of us want to be teachers? Okay, and one of the things we had, I told you earlier, one of the things that we get to ask our students, why don't you want to be a teacher? The person tells you that teachers are always poor, and that is the reality. That is the answer that we usually get. We have hosted this high school conference in Nairobi for the past 2 or 3 years, and now this is the first time we are hosting it in Mombasa. So anytime you ask a student, of all the careers, why don't you want to be a teacher? The student will tell you, I've never seen a rich teacher. So today we have an example of someone who rised from the lowest point that we call it lowest. Because being a teacher, the Prophet said, كَادَ الْمُعَلِّمُ أَنْ يَكُونَ رَسُولًا. The Prophet said that a teacher is more of like being a Rasul. Yani he gave an example, كَادَ الْمُعَلِّمُ أَنْ يَكُونَ رَسُولًا. So today we have an example of that person. A person that started as a high school teacher, walked in the corridors of different high schools in Nairobi and other places. But today we are not introducing him as a teacher, but we are introducing him as the Minister of Education, Mombasa County. So Dr. Warali, it's our privilege and honor to have you in this hall, to have you grace our event. And my colleagues will always tell me one thing, that anytime we have a chief guest in attendance, lazima kuna mazuri amekuja nayo. So everyone is eager to hear, na siku zote wanasema mgeni ni kama kuku mweupe. Kwa hiyo mgeni lazima atambulike kwa upekee wa aina yake. And I must say, before I conclude, I want to ask for something from you, Doctor. As the Muslim Student Association of the University of Nairobi, one of our programs is mentoring our high school students. So in your capacity as the minister, anytime you have a program for these high school students, then kindly consider Msaun as your first priority to help you in navigating through this initiative, inshallah. So karibu sana mheshimiwa, the floor is yours. Can we clap for him as he comes?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And also I can say good morning. I'm Msauni. I really want to thank the organizer of this event, exactly our able chairman. I was in communicating with him all the time, at least for us to make this event success. Thank you so much, Allah Al-Fadil Muhammad Abdullah Saleh, to grace this occasion all the way from Nairobi. What I can say, Muhammad Abdullah Saleh is just like my father. As the Arabs say, tarabbaitu fi baitihi, nimelelewa kwa nyumba yake. Thank you so much to all our students we have from different schools. But unfortunately, I can see the numbers we have, female, are more than the male. And this is very surprising. Labda tutaona kesho kutwa maandamano yakiandamana, majenzi watakuwa ni wanawake kushinda nani? Kushinda wanaume. Mimi natoa shukrani tu kwanza. My name is Dr. Mbarali Kame. I'm the current CECM, County Director, County Executive Committee Member, Department of Education and Vocational Training, Mombasa County, under the leadership of His Excellency Governor Abdulswamad Sharif Nasir. Ile kitu ambacho kwamba nitapenda kuzungumzia katika kongamano letu kama hili hasa linaloandaliwa na wanafunzi wetu wa Kiislamu, linaloongozwa na chairman wetu kutoka University of Nairobi. It is not an easy journey. Hii haikuwa kazi rahisi paka watu kufika mahala kama hapa. Siku zote nilipokuwa Moi University about 8 years back when I was lecturing, annually we were hosting international conferences. But for now, Moi University, unfortunately, we don't have even a patron who can lead those Muslim students there. And me myself, I'm very sure, after this position, I'm back to my position of teaching at Moi University. Kila mmoja anafaa, wacha hao tuwaingize kwanza. Sijui comrade ya kutoka shule gani? Chuda Day. Karibu mwalimu. Njoo hapa juu kidogo kwanza, kabla hujua kitu uko chini. Keti tu hapo bwana. Hai, karibuni wanafunzi wetu wa Chuda Day. Nimetangulia kusema kuhusu mambo ya Moi University. Nimekuwa mwalimu pale kwa muda wa miaka 8. Kabla sijapewa hii post au hii position kama waziri wa mambo ya education na vocational training, haikuwa ni easy job for me to reach here. But kwa kudra zake Mwenyezi Mungu Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, all the way from professional of teaching to the waziri, and next time don't be surprised for me to become a governor somewhere. Haya ni mambo tu ya kawaida, Mwenyezi Mungu huwa ameandika na yakikadiriwa huwa yamekadiriwa. Ni kongamano ambazo kwamba sisi kama Wizara ya Education Mombasa County, naweza nikasema kulikuwa kuna less communication between us and your chairman here. Na mawasiliano tulipata last minute, hata respond kutoka kwa governor kidogo ilikuwa ni kazi ngumu. Lakini after consultation with him, asubuhi tu nimereushwa tena leo kwamba kimbilia katika kongamano hili la wanafunzi, address on behalf of His Excellency Governor Abdulswamad Sharif Nassir. And you remember very well, if it is Chuda Day, Al-Farisi, Star of the Sea, all schools we have for Mombasa County, we can say we are privileged. First priority, Governor has given first priority to all departments, but Department of Education, what I can say from inside my heart, ni kama moyo wa Mombasa County kwa sasa hivi. Starting from mentorship program, no child left behind, scholarship, and for now, this coming September, Governor ashatoa ahadi yake na tushatoa fomu zetu, or anytime tutatoa fomu zetu. Any students who is joining any university in Kenya to be given 50,000 Kenya shilling as a grant from the Governor Abdulswamad Sharif Nassir. What I believe, education for Mombasa County, what I believe me as a waziri, sidhani tutarudia tena makosa tuliokuwa nao. Look at the result we have. Compare 2021, 2022, 2023, and this is 2024. Look at the result we have. Only 28%, only 28%, they are the one pursuing to join universities in Kenya. The rest of 72 or 70% stranded. We don't know where are they heading. Governor amechukua initiative kama hii, at least for us to come up with mentorship program, tuone wanafunzi wetu namna gani tuta uplift the standard of our result we have for Mombasa County. Mpigieni governor wetu makofi. Mimi mwenyewe baada ya kutembelea shule tofauti tofauti from Likoni to Jomvu, Changamwe, Kisauni and Nyali, I have seen the differences now are coming in. Na utaona results zimeanza kubadilika kwa kiwango kikubwa tu sana kwa sababu ya initiative ambayo kwamba sisi tuko nao kama Mombasa County. Hili ni la kupigiwa mfano. Utamuona governor wetu kila mahali anapoenda, hata function ambazo kwamba hazihusiani na education, lakini ulimi wake hawezi kuacha kutaja nini? Mambo ya education katika mji wetu wa Mombasa. I assure you, we shall keep our promise by any means, and I assure you the result for Mombasa County these years to come will be different from the previous result we have hosted for Mombasa County. Mimi nawatakieni kila la kheri katika kongamano lenu kama hili, na natakia Sheikh Muhammad pamoja na his team, anytime you need me to be here, kindly give me a single call and I'll present myself in this forum here. Thank you so much for this invitation, and God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mbarali. Please join me once again in giving him another big round of applause. Thank you so much for gracing our event with your presence and sharing your insights. Thank you so much. Once again, I would like to recognize the presence of Chuda Day High School. They've just arrived, so feel welcomed. Now I would like to welcome our esteemed chaplain who was supposed to speak, but it was during the time of the guest speaker. So I would now like to invite him on stage to share his insights on the topic of youth and morality. Welcome, Sana Ustad.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man tabi'ahum bi ihsanin ila yawmiddin, amma ba'd. Qala subhanahu wa ta'ala بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وإنك لعلى خلق عظيم. It's a pleasure to be with my brother, although ameniita baba, lakini labda ni ile difference kidogo tu ya umri, au naonekana mzee zaidi kuliko bwana waziri. Anyway, we have been together with Daktari for a very long time, and we are as close as blood brothers. Therefore, anytime he can call me, and anytime I can call him. Hakuna barriers between me and him. My topic of discussion today, or at this point in time, is the youth and akhlaq, which is morality. Therefore, I'll give a definition or two definitions of what morality is. And one of the definitions has been given by Imam Muhammad bin Muhammad bin Muhammad bin Ahmad. The first definition has been given by this great scholar of Islam, who was born in the 4th century Hijri, 5th century Hijri. I think everybody knows him, right? Labda, who can guess? Sitaki mulale, ndio na... Naam. Any? Hands up? Hands up? I'm 120% sure that this person, this Imam, is known by everybody. I'm pretty sure. Sijui kama? Vijana? Sijui the boys wanaitwa Kiswahili sheng vijana, na the girls wasichana. How do you call them? Wasichana. No? Yes, okay. Any person? Yes. No. Even his first name is Ahmad, as you say. And then you have Hanbal. How can it be? I say Muhammad bin Muhammad bin Muhammad bin Ahmad. Ahmad is the fourth name, great-grandfather, not the first name. No. As you know who? The Imam, okay. You know the Imam? Oh, you know him as Ahmad bin Hanbal. You don't know any other Imam apart from Ahmad bin Hanbal? Because Ahmad bin Hanbal is Ahmad bin Muhammad bin Hanbal. Ahmad bin Muhammad bin Hanbal. Abu Abdullah. Do you know Imam al-Ghazali? Yes. Okay, Imam al-Ghazali. Define, anasema akhlaq or khuluq is such consciousness which is ingrained deep on the heart, which prompts someone to do certain acts. Consciousness ingrained in our hearts, which prompts me and you to do certain acts. The act can either be good or bad. If the acts are good, they ensue from an excellent moral system or moral value. Lakini in another way, in the opposite, it represents a debased moral system. And then a very Sayyid Sulaiman al-Nadwi, in his book, The Ideal Prophet, says, morality is a system of human behavior which distinguishes between good and bad. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us that capacity. Whether you are Muslim, Christian, Jew, Hindu, the things which are innate, natural, that if you see this, you find that this is bad, this is good. And sometimes, if you inquire from the person who does that bad, why are you doing this? Say, nihali, circumstances. And then, why, I don't know why Msaun chose this topic for discussion. But if you look around, you find that why the topic is clear now. The importance, it's not only importance, the paramount importance of this topic is that we, as a society, a community, we have somehow lost the right track. We have lost the right direction here. The sense of purpose, the sense of direction, and since we have lost that purpose and that sense of direction, we tend to ape others. We tend to imitate others in one way or the other. Kwa hivyo, either we imitate a footballer, basketballer, a musician, and. And once you do that, you tend to be like him or her. Therefore, you lose who you are. You are who you are, not somebody else. if you try to wear the shoes of somebody else, either itakufinya au itakuwa kubwa. Right or wrong? Kila moja na size yake, sio? Sijui kama size yako ni 8 upatiwe size 10, sijui utafanyaje? Utatia makaratasi mbele kule au vitambara ndio ikutoshe? Then you'll act in a wrong manner, a wrong way. And if you look in the Kenyan context also, we have the same happenings. On a daily basis, you are able to, you hear or you see that a minor has been raped, a minor has been assaulted, cases of incest is on the rise, murder, robbery, grand corruption and bribery has become the order of the day. And sio long, si juzi tu kulikuwa na maandamano. The result ya maandamano ni kupora mali ya watu. Kwa hivyo utakuta kwamba we go by saying that politician, businessmen ndio wanatutumia, we have our own sense. We should use our own sense. Just logically, ikiwa you have the business, watu waje wakora, waje wavamie, will you be happy? It's common shillings, ikiwa si common sense yani. Kwa hivyo, and also you find that sometime, like in Nairobi, sometimes back yani, there were fetuses around 15, wrapped in a paper bag, polythene bag, thrown under the bridge of South Sea, for those who have been in Nairobi. 15 of them, fetuses, just thrown. Just like takataka. Well, they were to be humans after they have been delivered. And then there was a time in 1990s, end of 1990, when a mother, maybe both a parent or is a single mother, she took a baby, newly born baby, thrown it in the forest, Kawangware forest, for those who have been to Nairobi, Kawangware forest. And then after some time, a stray dog, while moving in the forest, he smelled meat. But that dog did not eat the baby. It took the baby by the napkins, and it brought to the houses of the humans. And it backed, till the people came out of the house and they found a baby. What was the message? What was the dog's message to us? Ikiwa mumeshindwa kulea watoto, sisi hatuna haja ya kula watoto wenu, chukueni mtoto wenu huyu. A stray dog. Where are we heading to? Then we have seen every time of examination, the government is trying to close all the cheating loopholes. Lakini still gomba linatoka. Sio? Still. Unasikia shule fulani sijui caught cheating, shule fulani caught cheating. And you know, in Islam as Muslims, and I think even in Christianity, cheating is totally disallowed. Get your marks. Na ndio sometime, nafikiri even the daktari maybe has experience, sometime you get an A student, amekuwa enroll kwa sababu buda au madhe alikuwa anataka afanye medicine, kijana au msichana hataki kufanya medicine, anataka kufanya other causes, wanakuja wanaingia, then they find it tough. Kwa sababu the A, it was not the real A yani. It was not the marks yani. Kwa hivyo wanakuta akiangalia biology, the structures, it fails him. Akiangalia physiology, ngumu. Akiangalia biochemistry na chemical reaction, anafana, the going is tough. After single year, ana change to arts. Hata kule arts pia anashindwa. So what is the use? It's better you get a C+, or C plain you start with a diploma, or C+ you start with a degree you wish, than doing a degree you don't. hauwezi, labda unaitaka lakini hauiwezi. Kwa sababu if biology, form 4 biology and form 3 na form 2 zimekushinda, sasa utakuja na the others in the university. Becomes difficult. People are dropping. And sometimes you get a problem, ni kwamba kijana amekuja kwa sababu ya shindikizo la mzazi. The parents are doctors, they want the son or the daughter to be a doctor. We get it rough trying to convince the parent, oh kijana ataki hii cause. Wajua kuna passion. And sometimes there are things you want to do. Therefore, in most of the cases, if you don't want to do, try as much as possible to convince the parent. Kwa sababu there is a case in UON where the son was told by the father, ikiwa unataka radhi yangu, me to be pleased with you, do medicine. Because that is the family tradition. We are all doctors. Kwa hivyo wakafanya, and you know how long it takes, yani? 6 years. And then 1 year of internship. Those are 7 years. Na if there are comrade strike in between hapa, inaweza kwenda zaidi ya hiyo miaka 7. Na kwa sababu sahi serikali haijachukua those who finished last year, they are 1 year out. They have not been taken as intern. Now this will become a vicious circle. Kwa sababu na wale ambao watamaliza this year, they'll have, depending when the last lot are taken, are absorbed by the government to do the internship. Wale wengine ikiwa watachukua 2 years, wale wengine wakitoka 2 years doing nothing. Kwa hivyo hiyo ita add up. 6 years, 2 years, or 1 year, and 1 year of internship. By the time you finish, 9 or 8 years, miaka imesonga. Kwa hivyo the boy graduated. After graduating, took the certificate, say, my father, you wanted me to do this, here I am. This is your certificate, not mine. Can you allow me to do now the cause I wish? Still the passion is there. Angalia, 6 years, na wakati ule alipokuwa akisoma, strikes zilikuwa rife. Every now and then, yeah. Strike. Either comrade or the professors, the lecturers. Kwa hivyo 3 months mmefunga shule, 6 months or whatever. Kwa hivyo muda unakuwa mwingi zaidi. At the end of all this hard work, anakuja anakuletea karatasi. Here, this is your paper. Take your paper, man. Sasa, can I do? Sasa, the course he wanted to do is 4-year course, yani. Kama hangefanya medicine, angekuwa amemaliza first degree, amemaliza second degree, labda anafanya third degree. Anafanya PhD. Lakini sasa he'll take longer to finish his course than usually. Yani. What are the virtues of morality in Islam? You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in paradise has made a story. Kuna maghorofa yani. The one who has good moral values, excellent moral values, their story will be the highest, the topmost. That is number 1. Number 2, it is a reason. Morality is a reason for you and me to enter paradise. Number 3, those who will be close to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam on the day of judgment are those of excellent moral values. Kama hapa tu, hapa ukiwa unataka kuwa karibu na governor au karibu na rais, what happens? Ikiwa kuna desk kama hii hapa, naona kuna our Professor Sara, kuna doctor, kuna chairman hapa. Sasa ukiwa unataka kuwa karibu na mgeni mheshimiwa, what happens? Au in the days ikiwa ni Madaraka Day au Jamhuri Day, kuna zile viti vimewekwa na kuna rais. Sasa ni watu gani ambao are close to the president or are close in function to the governor in sitting? Ni wapi? Kwa hivyo ikiwa ni rais, Yule next to him labda atakuwa ni vice rais, first lady, second lady, the CS, wale watu ambao ni wako karibu yani. Now for us to be close to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we are supposed to be of highest standard of moral values. Then you are loved by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah loves those who have excellent moral values. Having good moral value in the day of judgment, it will be weightier in the scale of good deeds. Ukiwa you have prayers, you have pilgrimage, you have charity and zakah, you have fasting. On top of that, you have good moral values. No, ile weight itakuwa weightier, and bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will admit you into paradise. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala admit all of us into his paradise. And then with good moral values, it increases manifold times the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is the best deed of a servant, of any servant. Completeness of faith is in akhlaq. And also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not praised any of his creature as he did praise the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And how did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praise his Prophet? In Surah Al-Qalam, what did he say? وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَى خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. You are at the peak of moral standard. And then there is a direct correlation, direct relationship between ash-sha'air and akhlaq. Ash-sha'air signifies the ibadah, the worship. There is a direct relationship between akhlaq, morality, and the ibadah. And if you want to know whether your ibadah have been accepted by Allah or not, then look at your moral values. That is the gauge. That is the scale. Look at your moral values. If your morality is good, it means that those prayers we have been praying, or the charity, or the fasting, has been accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let us take example. The example of akhlaq and prayer. Can anyone give us a verse which gives us a direct relationship between prayer and akhlaq? Any? 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 Surah Al-Ankabut, remember? أُتْلُ مَا أُوحِيَ إِلَيْكَ مِنَ الْكِتَابِ وَأَقِمِ الصَّلَاةَ إِنَّ الصَّلَاةَ تَنْهَى عَنِ الْفَحْشَاءِ وَالْمُنْكَرِ. Establish prayer for prayer. Prayer will make you live in decency and bad behavior. Surah Al-Ankabut, verse 45. What about charity and zakah? Surah At-Tawbah. Who can remember? We don't have Huffaz here. Naam. Umetingisha kichwa haraka. Naam. In Surah At-Tawbah. خذ من أموالهم صدقة تطهرهم وتزكيهم بها. Take from them charity. Take from them zakah. For zakah will cleanse them, purify them as well. What about fasting? Surah Al-Baqarah. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم. Therefore, siyam directly correlate with piety, righteousness. And righteousness is doing what is good, what you have been commanded, and distancing yourself from what has been prohibited. As well as Hajj in Surah Al-Baqarah, Al-Hajju Ashhurun Ma'lumat. Therefore, there is a direct correlation. And if you have all the good, but also you have the bad. Then whichever outweighs the other will make the scale to fall on that hand. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam tells us, and this hadith is very scary. It's very scary. Hadith of Imam Muslim from Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu. When he did ask one day, Ataduruna mal muflis? Ataduruna mal muflis? Do you know the insolvent, the bankrupt? Bankrupt ni mtu gani? Naam? Mtu ambaye amekuwa declared kwamba he or she is bankrupt. Ni mtu gani? Wanasema hana do. Au do hapa mtumii. Do ni ile bucket kubwa. Hana pesa. And that was the answer from the companions. To us, they say, to us, O Prophet of Allah, the one who is bankrupt is the one who does not have either cash money or property. And he said, la, 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 la. In this ummah, the bankrupt is the one who will come on the day of judgment with prayers, fasting, and sadaqah. Prayer, fasting, and sadaqah. These are positives. But he has negatives. So he'll come on the day, he or she will come on the day with prayers, day of judgment, prayers, fasting, and charity. But shatama hadha, kadhafa hadha, akala mala hadha, dharaba hadha, safaka dama hadha. But as well as the positive, he has negatives. He has insulted this one, or she has insulted this one, accused this one of adultery or fornication. Then he has ate the money of this one. Kisha amempiga huyu. And then he has shed the blood of this one. Therefore you have the good, you have the bad. Zile, in the day of judgment, hakuna tena kulipana pesa au kuomba msamaha. That is past. That is over. What happens? Your good deeds are taken, given to the one you have wronged. Kwa hivyo huyu you have insulted, inachukuliwa sala zako 2 3 anapatiwa huyu. Huyu ulimpiga, huyu ulimwaga damu yake, huyu ulifanya kadha, zinachukuliwa tu. And then in faniyat, when all the good deeds are over and still kuna watu you have wronged, then what happens? Their bad deeds will be taken, given to you. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, take this person to the hellfire. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we seek refuge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the hellfire. Okay, just to finalize, there are things we can do in order to earn. You know, in morality, there are morals which are innate, there are morals which are acquired. Inaweza kuwa kuna baadhi ya maadili you don't have, lakini you can acquire. And how do we acquire? One, recitation of the Quran. You recite the Quran on a daily basis. Recite the Quran, even if it is a page or 10 verses. Try to memorize whatever you are able to memorize. Know the meaning of the verses you recite. Try to implement. Once you do that, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, you'll be able to acquire these. Number 2 is imitating the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, for he was the best in character. Just like Professor Ramakrishna Rao, professor of Mysuru University, who wrote a booklet, Muhammad, the Apostle of Islam, and he gave the qualities. There you will see him a statesman. There you will see him a prophet. There you will see him a merchant. There you will see him an emancipator of slaves. There you will see him an emancipator of women. And in all these human roles, he is at the peak. That is number try to imitate. Therefore, we should know his life, biography, know what he did, know what he did not do, and then imitate him. Bi-idhnillahi ta'ala will be at the top. Number three. And number three is befriend people who are good. You are known by your friends. And hence one person of the predecessors, pious predecessors, say, don't tell me who you are. Tell me who your friends are, and I'll tell you who you are. It is very essential. While in school, outside school, in community, try to choose well your friends. Ukichagua rafiki mbaya, atakupeleka pale ambapo yeye yupo. Kwa hivyo ukichagua rafiki ambaye anatumia drugs, you'll end up in drugs. Ukifanya rafiki, a person who cheats, you'll end up cheating. Ukifanya rafiki you'll end up. Na ukifanya rafiki na mzuri, mtu ambaye anasali, mtu ambaye is out of drugs, and atakuchukua kwa mkono. Kwa hivyo is very, very essential. Number 4, reading the biographies of the pious people. And looking at their biography, what they used to do. If they are able to do, then me and you, or you and me, will also be able to do what they did here. And number 5, humbly supplicate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Make dua, a lot of dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bestow on you excellent moral values. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us a prayer. Dua, one of the dua ul-istiftah, dua of opening the prayer, the first dua before a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us by saying, Allahumma ihdini li ahsanil akhlaqi la yahdi li ahsaniha illa anta wasrif anni sayyi'aha la yasrifu an sayyi'aha illa anta. Oh Allah, guide me li ahsanil akhlaq, to the best of moral value, best of morality. For there is none who guides to the best of morality other than you, O Allah. O Allah, wasrif anni, niondole, distance myself from sayyi'aha, from the bad moral values. There is none who can distance me from that other than you, O Allah. Therefore, even outside the prayer, try as much as possible to supplicate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And bi-idhnillahi ta'ala, ud'uni astajib lakum. That is a guarantee from Allah subhanahu. Ud'uni, supplicate to me, and I'll answer your call. Jazakumullahu khairan, barakallahu fikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Shukran sana, Ustad. May the wisdom that you have shared with us today resonate with our hearts, and may we carry the torch of morality forward, inshallah. Now, all our speakers and the teachers, kindly, you'll be heading out to the boardroom for some breakfast and refreshments. So kindly, we'll be guided by Sister Naifin and Brother Abdul. He'll guide you to the boardroom. So as they leave, the teachers too, for the high schools, will be heading outside. As they prepare to leave, I would like to call upon the chairman of the Muslim Students Association of the University of Nairobi, Mombasa campus, Brother Suhail.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First of all, I would like to share my gratitude to the schools who have invited and have come here with due cooperation to the day. Mr. Said, I would like to show your presence, Mr. Rishad, Khamis, and the other schools which I invited personally. Thank you so much for coming here. Okay, so my colleague here, chairman for exec, he says, the teachers, please, let's accompany the speakers here and follow the chairman to the boardroom for having a breakfast, inshallah. The teachers who have accompanied the students, the high school teachers. Before they leave, first I would like to thank the speakers who have come here, Professor Sarah, Dr. Mbwarali, and Madam Madiha. Shukran for coming to our event. So as they leave, we'll have a short story. Don't worry, don't worry. Nyipi mnataka breakfast? Chill, relax, mtapata, zinakuja zenu. Unajua for special people zinakama at the last.
I'm just students. Just this. Excuse me. This. Excuse me.
Sasa maji waganyiwe basi. Okay, boys and girls, let's continue. So as I said, msema kwanza mnataka breakfast. Siniwaambia za special people zinakama at the last. Tulieni, zinakuja, ziko njiani. Moto moto. So, first of all, thank you so much for coming to our event. Alafu, let me start with a short story. At the end, you can have some moral lesson. So like, once upon a time, there was a man who was named N, the negative man. So this negative man was relocating from another village to another village. Like ilikuwa na hama kutoka hii kijiji kwenda kwa kijiji kingine. So at that time, he was relocating na akafika to that another village. So the first thing he did, he inquired like, is there an elderly man here, a wise man in this village? So akaambiwa, yeah, there is. His name is Master Kun. So akauliza, where can I find this Master Kun? Akaambiwa, up the hill. So this negative man akapewa directions da akaenda paka kwa Master Kun. So akamfikia Master Kun, akamsalimia, akamwambia, Master Kun, mimi nimefika kwa hii village, I was relocating from another village. So how are the people in this village? So Master Kun akamwangalia, then akamreply with a question. Akamwambia, listen young man, how are the people where you left in that village? How were they? Akamwambia, the people where I left them, they were bad people, bad attitude, rude, indiscipline. So akamwambia Master Kun akanyamaza, then akamwambia, the people where we left in that village are the same people are in this village. So that young man akachukua hiyo answer na akaenda. Then another day, there was another man relocating here to come to that village where Master Kun is. His name is Mr. P, for the positive one. So this Mr. P akafika kwa hiyo village na pia aka-inquire about any elderly man in that village, a wise man with a lot of wisdom, na akapewa directions up the hill to Mr. Kun. So alivofika to Master Kun, I mean the master, Master Kun. Yeah, Kung Fu master, I think. So Master Kun alivofika kwa Master Kun akamuuliza the same question. Hi Master Kun, how are the people in this village? How are their behaviors? How are their attitudes? And all that. So then Master Kun akamwangalia, akamreply with the same question. Akamwambia, listen young man, you are relocating from another village to this new village. How were the people in that village where you left? Akamwambia, Master Kun, the people where I left were disciplined. They were so good. They had good hospitality, good attitude, and they were so calm. So akamwambia, the people you left are the same people here in our village. They are so good like the people where you left in your village. So like, what do you see in this story? What do you think the people are in that village where those people too are relocating? What can we learn from there? You see, in life, let me tell you the moral lesson. You see, in life, in your life, in all our lives, whatever you see in this world, the world will see in you. Whatever you see good in people, the people will see good in you. Whatever you see bad in people, the people will see bad in you. So don't be rude. Don't have a negative attitude. Don't be unpleasant to people. So like if you are like this bad moral values, the same people will see in you. Even though you are good, but you see people in the bad way, the people will see you the same bad way. So if you are with that kind of attitude, please, from today, let's change, let's see in good. Even though they are bad, there's a saying which says, just smile at your enemy, even though he is so bad. So, yeah. But if you only see the nasty and greedy of people, which is in the bad way, that is what the people will see in you. So be good to the world, and the world will be good to you. So with me, I was coming with a package here. Do you want to know what I have in that package? Mind your own business. So, okay, let me just say, I'll ask 2 questions. First of all, the students, mostly to the students. Not anyone should answer these questions. And the one who wins will have a little present I have with me in this package. I have a bar of chocolates, a Cadbury, a Snickers, and a Twix. So, there are 2 questions. So the first question, I think it will land mostly to Muslims, and I think most of you are Muslims. So if I may ask, it's a general question, not on the educational background or school or anywhere. If you're a Muslim, I think, if you don't know it, you should know it. Okay. No, you should not answer, only the students. Oh, okay, sawa. Thank you so much. So the students, the question starts, kuna sunna moja. There is one sunnah in Islam. Mtu akifanya, the other person cannot do it until huyo mtu aimalize. Which sunnah is that? Na usiniambie kufa ni sunnah. So, sikizeni vizuri, there is one sunnah. One sunnah. Mimi nikifanya, nyinyi nyote hamwezi ifanya, mpaka mimi niimalize ndo muifanye. Ni sunnah gani hiyo? Okay, let's start with the boys. Manake kwanzia asubuhi nimeona most of the girls were answering the questions from Sheikh Muhammad. So let's start with the boys. Who knows the answer? Just try. It's a gift. And I know, like boys, I'm penny chocolate, but you can take it to your sisters. So yeah. Okay, there is an answer here. Naam? Si salamu. Salamu ndo tuko pili wa pamoja. Nikwambia salamu alaykum najibu hapo hapo. What is that sunnah? Okay, give the mic to the girl here. Quiet, please. Okay, yeah, just try. It's fine. Not really. 2 people, there can be 2 marriages in the same day and the same time. Okay, faster, Jama, I don't have the time. Fast. Not really. Just try. Okay, 3 more hands, please. I'll give the answer. Okay. Yes? Sss. If it's not even a dhikr. It's an action. It's an action. If I do, no one else will do it until I finish it. What's that? Okay, they are from Abu Huraira. No. Please, please, be quiet. Be quiet. I can see this question is so tough. I'll ask another one so that you can have this bar of chocolates. I don't want to go with them home. There's a boy there. Please, please, please. Yes? Simski. Heda. Eda. Ah, no. You can have two girls at the same time in the Eda. So, no. Please. Okay, okay, there. We can smile together, not really. Can I give the answer now, please? The answer is Takbilatul Hajaratul Aswad. If I look at the Kaaba there where the people are looking, no one else will look until I finish it. And it's a sunnah. So hope you got it. Oh, pardon, namuja nisikia. The answer is Takbilatul Hajaratul Aswad. The point where people are looking at the Al-Kaaba in Mecca. If I look at it, no one else will come near me or look at that point until I finish it. And it's a sunnah. Can I go with my chocolates back? Okay, don't worry. I'll come back with some questions later on so that I can finish. Okay. The next question, I'll come with them, inshallah, later on. Sahi, let me welcome MC. I will know who to welcome, so I don't know who's next. Thank you so much. I'll come back to you, don't worry. I don't want to go with these chocolates back at home. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Suhail. We really needed that moment. Someone like me, hata I'm not sarcastic, hata kidogo. I can't make people laugh. But yeah, we needed that. Can you please remain silent? Kindly. I will now like to recognize the presence of AEDT. I can see a representative over there, the Africa Education and Development Trust. And I would like to invite her, Sister Zuhura, on stage to say a word or two. Welcome. Guys, please, let's maintain silence, kindly. Which one should I use?
Assalamu alaikum. Hello. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, should I start or I should wait to finish? Okay, my name is Zuhura, and I'm so honored to be here because I can see you're being given goodies, and I am also here to give you more goodies in as far as your education is concerned. So I am here as an Africa Education and Development Trust representative. So this is an organization that is Islamically registered. We normally give scholarships and interest-free study loans to students who are pursuing their higher education. So how many of you, by show of hands, are in Form 4? How many of you are in Form 4? Okay, so can you hear me, guys?
Guys, let's please cooperate. It's not nice. Someone is speaking and you're also speaking. Kindly, let's maintain silence. Kindly. Sawa, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, as I was saying, like we normally give scholarships to students who are going to different universities, locally and abroad. I know some of you have had dreams of studying abroad, dreams of going to universities. So I'm here to give you a motivation that if you get a good grade, you can acquire a scholarship at Umma University. I don't know if some of you have ever heard about Umma University. It's an Islamic university. And we normally give partial scholarships. You can also secure a full scholarship if at all you perform well in your high school. And if you're coming from a humble background, we can also consider that. So normally, for the other universities, if you want to study in any other university, maybe University of Nairobi, and your parent is not able to pay the full amount of school fees, now that most of the universities, the school fees has been increased, your parents may find it difficult to pay the whole amount. So Africa Education normally pays for the school fees for all students who are doing their bachelor's. That is if your parent is able to pay the loan. And this loan is without interest. It's Sharia compliant. Like we pay for you the whole amount of school fees you need for the whole program. And then we give your parent a monthly installment. And the repayment period is normally the study period. So I want you to go back home and tell your parents that there is an organization that is that normally gives scholarships. I want to emphasize on this. We have scholarships. If you perform well in high school, you can even get 100% scholarship to study at Umma University. You can even get a scholarship to study abroad. You can go to Malaysia. You can go to Turkey under our sponsorship. So I'm seated at the door, the entrance door, the back door. Once the program is over, you can pass by the table. I have the flyers. You can take them home because they have the office numbers and how you can reach out to us. Let me not take much of your time because I can see you are really concentrating on food. And I hope that we will meet, inshallah, next time when you are joining campus so that we can give you these scholarships and loans without interest. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.
Fellow students, I want to emphasize on one thing. The lady that she has just spoken here, she's from an organization called Africa Education and Development Trust, ABC. We have their flyers roaming around. The difference between AET and HELP, wakati wanajua HELP, wakati washawahi sikia kitu inaitwa HELP, Higher Education Loan Board. When you will be joining the university, there is something called HELP. And right now, what is happening at the university level, the government has introduced something they call a new funding model. The government only sponsors a certain percentage of money for you. For instance, umeitwa University of Nairobi to study medicine. The fee for studying medicine is 650,000. You are kindly nataka, please let us not mama. Oi, Abu Huraira. The sisters from our Huraira. So what I'm trying to say is that you have been called at the University of Nairobi to study Bachelor of Medicine and Surgery. The fees is 650,000. 650,000, the government only pays for you 300,000. What is the balance? 350,000. Assume you are coming from a background that is not well off. Maybe your dad is just employed somewhere and cannot raise 650. But over 650 in this area, we have accommodation at the university, we have money, we have food and all that. So instead, away as a Muslim student, going ahead to apply help because help in an interest, and interest is haram, interest is riba. Africa Education and Development Trust, they give you the loan with no interest at all. They give you the loan with no interest. Kama umekopesha kwao 100,000, utalipa 100,000 peke yake. Hauongezi hata shilingi. I want to speak of a student from Wami High School. Who knows Wami High School in Nairobi? There is a school called Wami High School. Their top student, Sasahidi, is from Malindi. He's going to study in Malaysia, courtesy of ABT. Let us clap for them. What I'm trying to say is that these partners that we are bringing on board to speak to you students, our Tusaidi CCS organizers, they are coming with goodies that you guys need to take into consideration. I was so annoyed that the partner is speaking hapa and some of you are not even paying attention. Kesho kutwa umeitwa university, your parents are not paying fees, you don't know where to go. Unabaki nyumbani, at the end of the day, unakuwa mtoto wa mtaani. Hatuombi hivyo, sawa sawa? So kindly, the second speaker coming is from Imperial, Brother Omar Mazrui. Let us pay attention. Hatujawaletea any jokers hapa ndani. It took us time, it took us resources, it took us commitment to tell them to come on board so that you guys can benefit. Let us clap for them. As brother Mazrui come, wale ambao wamemiss the exact point from Zuhra from ADT, there is a desk, she will be seated pale. When we'll be having any break, you can interact with her and also ask her more on their program. Sawa sawa? Thank you for listening.
My name is Msaun Mombasa, Marketing Director of Imperial Education. So we have So, as mentioned earlier, as we are SDs, for the Imperial Education Consultants, your one-stop center for anyone who is aspiring to further their studies abroad. So, how we help you with that? We help you with career counseling for the students who are yet to understand what career pathways they would like to go through. We also help you with university applications. We are contracted with over 300 universities abroad from all the major destinations such as Malaysia, Turkey, Cyprus, Canada, US, UK, all the major destinations, name it, we have. We help you as well with a visa. As you all are aware, these regulations keep changing time to time. So we ensure that you are aware of all the requirements that it takes for you to successfully get a visa abroad. Apart from that, we also help you with pre-departure briefings. So apart from you having a visa, you must be aware of what you are expecting in that country that you are planning to travel. So we ensure that you are aware about their policies, things to do how do you go about saving cost while you're abroad. We also help you with regards to accommodations so that you ensure that you choose a choice that is okay with your finances. Apart from that, we also help students, since you have been in the industry for over 8 years, we help you to connect to other students that we have already sent abroad. So you're getting the reality about what is there and not just things to do with what is out there online. Okay, so we give you that advantage. Apart from that, we have a lot of partial scholarships. We have fully funded scholarships, but those are very limited. For example, maybe later on, for those who are interested, they can come to our desk and inquire further. We have universities, for example, in Malaysia, whereby students who would be on 100% scholarship, they would need to have at least 5 A minors, and they would qualify for a number of programs, mainly within STEM-related subjects, which is anything to do with engineering or sciences, or even if it's business-related courses. Other universities, usually we have partial scholarships. Those as well would depending on the course. Programs like medicine, maybe you may expect somewhere around 30% scholarship. Other programs could be much more higher. For example, we have a university as well in Malaysia where they would give 75% scholarship on tuition, whereby for students who have at least 7 Bs, students with at least 5 Bs, they can be given 50%. Others, for example, with 3 Bs, they're given at least 25%. So the scholarships, they vary. We have even some universities, for example, in Canada, where maybe they would give you 20,000 Canadian off, despite their fees is 24,000. We have some universities, they go by percent. For example, even those who are interested to study in destinations like Dubai, most of the institutions there would give 30%. And then maybe you're given an additional grant, which could be maybe another 5 to 10%. But what is more important is, of course, is your academic results and also your co-curricular achievements. So co-curricular achievements could be something like maybe you have participated in sports and won some competitions. It could also be maybe you have given your time for community service. Maybe you have partnered with Red Cross, which are just, this is in fact their building here. If you would sponsor, if maybe you would volunteer some time for community service, it could be things like visiting an orphanage or coming up with any programs for the community. So these are extra co-curricular achievements. For schools, if you have debate competitions or any other competitions, those are taken seriously on top of your academics. These will help you in terms of getting the admissions quickly as well as getting scholarships. For those who are good with sports and maybe they've performed at state level, there are some universities, maybe they can give you 25%. Those at national level, it could be 50 or even 100%. So these are the different things that we assist students with. Apart from that, we also have 2 major events like every year, usually towards early February and towards another event that will be coming soon would be in September, where we have at least not less than 20 universities from abroad. We usually try to have a mix of those from Malaysia, Dubai, Canada, UK, Australia, so that you as well as along with your parents can come and have a one-on-one discussion with them, get to understand which option works better for you. Also looking at finances, getting to understand which one that is viable with regards to your parents. And also be able to understand what could be the highest scholarship that you can be able to obtain. So these events, the upcoming event would be around September. We would be also sharing that with your career teachers in the schools. So for those who are interested, they'll be able to come, okay? So this is who we are in a nutshell, but for any other student maybe that they're interested with regards to furthering their studies abroad, they can visit our table. We are located in Tononoka area, just behind Noble Hall, okay? So for those who are familiar with Gulshan or maybe Makupa Chemist, just opposite you have Total Petrol Station. You can take that junction and just a few blocks ahead, you would see our offices on the left. So thank you very much for your attention, and for anyone who has any question, feel free to visit our booth. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Brother Omar Mazrui, they are our partners for this event. You can see their banners and their desk pale nyuma. Also, at your free time, you can also go and see what they have on board. Right now, we have another partner about their Homescope hostels. These hostels are meant for our Muslim students ambao yani, you know, ukienda university mzazi anakuwa na wasiwasi. Mtoto wangu atakaa wapi? Ataishi vipi? Sitaki aonane na mwanamume. The same way students are taken to Sheikh Khalifa, kwa sababu Sheikh Khalifa tunaambiwa kwamba there is no that mingling. So pia kuna hizi hostels that Homescope, kindly those with the brochures for the hostels, Suhail. So they are going to distribute. You go see what homeschool have for us. And if you have any question and concern, you'll also ask around. We are preparing you for the next stage after high school. If you are in Form 1 right now, within 3 years to come, you'll be in Form 4 and you'll need to move to another level. If you are in Form 4, in the next months, you'll be moving to another level, either college, university, or whatever stage you'll want to go. That is why we are here to prepare you today. Sawa sawa? Thank you. So right now, you can just take a minute or two to look at the pamphlets that mumepatiwa. One, ensure you have for the AEDT, Africa Education and Development Trust. And second, ensure you have for homeschool. Right now, as we wait for our next speaker, Professor Sarah, who is the Associate Dean, University of Nairobi, Mombasa campus, I want us to have a one-on-one conversation. I want to give a mic to one boy and I want to give a mic to one girl. And you just tell us a random thought that comes in your mind whenever you think about university. Sawa sawa? Are we up to the challenge? Are we up to the challenge? I want to give a mic to anyone willing so that he or she gives us a random thought. Anytime you hear the term university, what comes in your mind?
ndani, ukiwasha zote mbili ndio inaleta ile full. Sasa washe moja. Hii ya kamera. Hii ndio ya hapa ndani.
Okay. Switch it on. Okay, okay.
Okay, thank you for all of you attending to this session. Okay, what I think about university is, right now we are in high school, right? Then in high school, it's a bit tough, right? Like we have 8 subjects, yes? So like in university, what I think about university, the course that you're going to take and the syllabus, it will be more wider than the one in high school. In secondary school, we have like biology, we have topics, right? But then in university, we have like units, get? So the course in university is much wider compared to secondary school. Then what I also think about university is that in university, there is no one is going to push you like nenda usome or something. In high school or in primary schools, you have your parents and your teachers to guide you. Like you have to do this and this and this to make your grade to be better, right? In university, you are a grown-up. You are 18 years old. There is no one who will force you to go to class or no one will force you to study. So there, you should use your common sense. I'm a 18-year-old or I'm an adult. I have to do this and this and this. There's no one who will force you to go to school. There are other people who miss classes. But then in secondary school, if you miss classes, for what I know, for what I know in secondary school, if you miss classes or school, the teachers will follow up to the parents. But then in university, the lecturer will come, will talk about this certain unit, and then he will go. He won't follow you up. Notes you have to write for yourself. You have, like, he'll give you assignment. He won't teach everything. He'll give you 25%. The other part, you have to look for yourself. As for secondary school, like now, we are given foundation. Like the teachers, like in our school, IRE teacher will come, will give you a certain part, you go and research. Then, like in high school, it's that way for our school. But I don't know about your schools. In university, a lecturer will come, will say, do this and this and this. You should follow up. And when he comes for the next lesson or next lesson, yes, he'll not repeat what he told you to do. It's for yourself. And exams, you have to do like revision for yourself, and no one will push you. That's all. Thank you.
What's your name? Thank you so much, Sister Amal, for the words that you have just told the rest of the students. Whatever she said, it's actually very true. University, you just have to push yourself. Hakuna mtu atakupush. It's not like it's unlike high school. High school unabembelezwa and all that, but university, you just have to balance your life and your studies. Sawa, you are the one who is going to shape your future, ukiingia university. So I think we need to move on with our program. Our next speaker is a remarkable scholar and advocate with an illustrious career as a senior lecturer at the University of Nairobi, Mombasa campus. She has left an indelible mark on legal education. She is armed with a PhD, a master's, and a bachelor's of degree in law. And apart from academia, she also stands as an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, and she's currently serving as the Associate Dean of Students at the University of Nairobi, Mombasa campus. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Sarah Kinyanjui as she graces our stage to delve into the topic of academic excellence. Welcome, Madam.
Thank you very much. I don't know whether you can hear me at the back. Can you hear me? Loud and clear? Okay, great. So thank you for the introduction and the invitation. I must say that I am a guest in this particular event. Usually, we are the ones who organize events, but the students have organized all this and they've just invited me. So I am a really proud associate dean today to say that I'm actually attending an event that has been hosted by our students. I must again say that I'm extremely excited to see all of you, and I will tell you in a minute why. I don't know whether all of you have a piece of paper. Have you all been given a piece of paper? Can I get one too, a piece of paper? I was tempted to use the program, but the organizers might think I'm being ni madharau, sio madharau, so please give me a piece of paper. Okay. Thanks, I have a piece of paper now. Right, so I'd like you to follow what I'm doing. I'd like you to fold, you have your paper? Fold it in the middle. I'd like you to follow what I'm doing. So I'll keep the mics down and I'd like you to follow what I'm doing. So, piece of paper, fold it. Fold the piece of paper. Have you all folded? Okay, I'd like you to cut the corner. Okay, cut the corner. I'm cutting the corners. Can you see? Cut the corners. Can you see what I'm doing? Just keep cutting the corners. Then when you're done with the corners, fold again. One more time. Okay? And then keep cutting the corners. Now, I won't be telling you where to cut, but just cut the corners. And then fold again until you can't fold anymore. So keep folding, cutting the corners. You fold, cut the corners, fold, cut the corners, until you can't fold anymore. So when you reach the stage where you are no longer able to cut the corners, just raise your hands. Fold, cut the corners until you are unable to do it anymore. Okay, so once you're done, great. Now I want you to all open up your papers. Open them up and then lift them up for everyone to see. So lift up your papers, let's see. Look around you, see what do you see? Okay. All right, let's now discuss about the paper. Okay? So when you look at the papers around you, there's something that you notice. Do you notice that everybody's paper is different? Did you all follow the same instructions? What does that tell you? That you are each of you unique, and that each of you is here on a personal mission that is unique from everybody else's mission. It's interesting that you all follow the same instruction, but look at what each of you has gotten. So if we all had a group mission, we would all have gotten the same thing, but we've all gotten something different. So I'm very excited this morning that I have each one of you, because what this means is that with your unique abilities, then the coast region is so rich with people with diverse capabilities and are each unique. So imagine if you can actually use your skills and uniqueness the way you're supposed to, how would our region be? It would be great. So my mission this morning, I was asked to talk about academic excellence, and I just want to say that if each of you decided today that I am going to be excellent, it's going to change our region. I'm told there are about 220 students today, and I'm imagining if each of you made that decision and you excelled, and you all come from families, right? Probably families with 10 people, and then extended families, and then where you stay. So can you imagine the number of people you can influence by becoming excellent? Allow me also to say that why does it matter whether you're excellent or not? Sini sawa tu so long as nimeenda shule, kama kila siku naenda, nafanya homework, namaliza. Does it matter? Why should you be excellent? The first thing is that because this is organized by the Muslim Students Association, I'd like us to be a little bit religious. And I'll say that when you listen to even Christian and Muslim teachings, they do tell us one thing, that our Creator is excellent. I even read that Allah is excellent and expects us to be excellent. But number two, when you hear the creation story, it's always said that after God created everything, he would look back and say, this is good. What does that tell you? That our Creator is not just in the business of doing things. He stands and looks and says, is this good enough? And therefore, he expects each of us to be excellent. He did not create us just to be heavy. He created us to be each excellent. So excellence is not only a requirement that your teachers keep talking about or your parents, but it is actually a mandate from our Creator. So every time you're not doing your very best, I am even short of saying that you're probably sinning, because our Creator actually expects us to be the best that we can. Number two, excellence is what sets us apart from everybody else. That if you are to look at all of you, what would set you apart from the person next to you is how excellent you are. And so if you want to go any further from where you're seated, if you want your life to change, you have to aspire for excellence, and you have to make that decision. And so with that, I'd like to talk about the DNA of excellence. And I want just somebody to say, I don't know whether there's a mic available, because I'm sure you're doing biology now. The last time I was in a biology class is many years ago. So you're probably better versed than I am. So I'd like somebody just to say, what's DNA? What does DNA mean from a biological sense? Anyone, just raise your hand. Don't talk amongst yourselves. We are beginning to be excellent. We wait for instructions, we listen. Let's hear from you. Let's all be quiet and listen to her. Sorry? A bit louder. Can you hear at the back? Can you hear? Is the mic on? Just put it close to your mouth here. So can you hear the back now? Okay, somebody else. The person next to you, do you want to say it as well? And you all know that, don't you? But apart from just the biological term itself, what the DNA stands for, if we talk about it in layman terms, not the biological terms, is what we are made up of. So as you sit there, your DNA and my DNA is different. It's what makes us. So I want us to look at the DNA of excellence. There are certain things that you must have for you to be excellent. The first DNA of excellence is a vision. I don't know, when you're seated there, do you know where you're going? If I asked you today, do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Excellent people have a vision of where they're going. So if you already you haven't begun thinking about where you're going, chances are, if you don't know where you're going, then you will follow others. So you hear people, they're seated in a group and say, nasikia hiyo course ndio nzuri. Then you say, hata mimi hiyo ndio nitafuata. Then you hear somebody say, hiyo ngumu sana siwezi. Then you decide, I cannot. If you don't have a vision, you follow what everybody else says. So it's important for you as an individual, and I want you from this meeting to go back home and draw a picture of where you want to be in the next 5 years. A vision is number 1, DNA of excellence. Number 2, DNA of excellence. And I'm worried because I'm just seeing you looking at me, and I was thinking you'd probably be writing something. But I hope in the next session, if you didn't carry a notebook, you would carry one. Number 2 is strategy. Strategy. How do we strategize? Strategy. I want to hear from somebody. What does strategy mean? Somebody to raise up their hands. Let's hear what strategy means. And I'd like somebody right at the back. The person circulating the mic, their hands at the back. Let's get somebody right at the back. Right at the back. Planning. Great, we can hear you. Yeah, strategy is planning. Excellent, it is planning. What else is there about, what other response? Was there somebody else? And we can work with, there's one more hand. There's one more hand. It is? Can you hear the... Organizing yourself to achieve more. That's excellent. Organizing yourself to achieve something. So the second composition of excellence is actually strategy. So you've already sat and said, and let's listen please. I will pause for a minute until we are all silent. I'll pause for a minute until we are all silent so that we can proceed. Right. So the second thing is strategy. The second DNA of excellence is strategy. So you've already had your vision. You've decided, I want to do medicine. Maybe I should use something different because we keep talking about medicine. Let's use something different and say, I want to be a teacher, right? And teaching is an excellent career, by the way. I saw people smiling when I say teaching. It's an excellent career. So if you see yourself as a great teacher in the next 5 years, then you have to start strategizing. The first thing you need to do is find out, what does it require me to do for me to be a teacher? What are the qualities of a good teacher? Teachers are public speakers, right? So if I'm going to be a teacher, I have to enhance my public speaking skills. Am I going to wait until I become a teacher to start practicing? No, you begin now. You join all the clubs that require you to do public speaking. So you begin to strategize. If you want to become a lawyer, and I'm biased here because my background is in law, you again start thinking, what do lawyers do? They speak. And so I have to enhance my oratory skills. They write a lot. I have to ensure that my language skills are tip-top. And by the way, for you to get into university to do a law degree, you must get a B in English or Kiswahili. So even if you get a B+ overall, but you don't have a B in English or B in Kiswahili, you cannot be admitted for the law degree. So what I'm saying, what am I saying? That if you've already seen where you're going, you begin to strategize. And remember, this is a personal journey, and that's where I started off. It's not a group journey, but we'll talk about the group. What's important is that you must have your personal journey set out first. Number 3 is discipline. Of course, I can't even talk a lot about this because the teachers here, I'm sure they keep talking about discipline all the time. How many of you like basketball? How many of you know, of course, great. Now that you like basketball, of course you know about Jordan's story, right? Was he born a natural? Do you know his story that at first when he was younger, the coaches said, this guy won't go far, right? But what took him to the top? First, he had the vision. Number 2, he strategized. But number 3, he was disciplined. He kept on just working at his skill, working at his skill. The sad thing is that as we started off saying, all of you have skills in you. The sad thing is that some people lie on their skills. Their skills won't grow because they don't have the discipline of practicing what you need to do. And as a student, the discipline required of you, I will use mathematics for instance. You cannot excel in mathematics if you don't constantly keep doing math questions, right? So how many of you have the discipline of doing it over and over and over until you're good enough? So discipline is number 3 DNA of excellence. Number 4 is the pursuit of excellence. Now this is that you determine, I want to be excellent. You have to do everything that you need to do to be excellent. It might sound like I'm repeating what I'm saying, but this is slightly different. That excellence is not just excellence kwa vitabu. It's not just academic excellence. As you sit here, the question is, even your dressing, is it excellent? I always joke with university students that when somebody sends me a message and sends me in small letters, hi, what's up? You know those and before, like B and 4. And I say, no, there is no excellence in that. Even if it is an SMS, at least show some excellence. Use capital letters where they are required to be. What am I saying? That excellence is a lifestyle. That once you choose the journey of excellence, it is in everything you do. And you must pursue that excellence. I'm off to the next DNA. The other DNA is integrity. Wangapi wenu mmetumia mwa Kenya? How many of you tayari mnazitaje kwa Kiswahili ni gomba ama zinaitwaje? Aha. Wangapi mmetumia tayari? Of course, hamwezi sema mmetumia. But what am I saying? That for you to be excellent, and Sheikh tayari alisema, the thing with excellence is that if you're not excellent, at some point it will show. So you get your B, but your capacity is a C-. When you come to university, you're the one utakuwa na supplementary after supplementary. So the pursuit of excellence requires you to be a person of integrity. That if today I left some money here, mtakuja mkinitafuta mkisema, tumepata pesa hapa. How many of you would be doing that? We found, and we've all gone, you're the only one in this room, I've left some money there. You pick it, you say, and you, madam, wacha tumtafute. That is excellence. That as an excellent person, you must be a person of integrity. That if you're working your very best, and your very best gets you to a C, can I assure you that you will probably rise to the highest ranks than even somebody who got an A through means that are not appropriate. So pursue today, and I really hope that all of you who are seated here, the 260 of you, will be on the journey of integrity. Because if you do, that's how our country is going to be changed. That if all of you decide to do that, and then you ensure people around you do the same, then we are going to have a difference in our country. I must tell you a very sad story, that all the time when I am seated in my office, I get requests from employers to say whether a certificate is genuine. And I can tell you for sure that I have come across over 20 certificates that are University of Nairobi forged certificates. Isn't that a sad thing? So you get into a job, because these are people who get into jobs. And then when they are applying for promotion, the employer decides, let's do a background check. So when they come to me, I'm not the academic registrar, so I forward them to him. But I can see, even when I look at it, I already know this is a forged certificate. So now the academic registrar has to write to the employer and say, I am afraid this is not a genuine certificate. So the path of integrity gives you the staying power. The staying power is that when you're seated somewhere and you know I am here by right, you even excel because you have the confidence of I am here by merit. So I call upon you to be people of integrity. Let us be excellent through the journey of integrity. The other thing I'd like to talk about as a DNA or a hallmark of excellence is emotional intelligence. Now, people who are excellent are people who know that relationships matter. One of the problems in our country is that we are so selfish, we think about ourselves in everything. But we all know that if you do not walk with people, you can only go so far. If I can start telling you my journey, how I got where I am, I can tell you for sure, I would not have reached where I have if I did not have people that supported me. So your relationships matter. So you have to begin building your emotional intelligence. What am I talking about? That you begin thinking about who you are relating with and what you're giving each other. And then you build your skills that will enable you to have good interpersonal relation skills. I will tell you an example. Can you imagine a football team? And I know watu wa Manchester United na Arsenal, many in this room. But can you imagine having a team with Mbappe? Having a team, who are the other top players? Messi, Ronaldo. Okay. So imagine this. If you have a team with Messi, Ronaldo, Mbappe, and they're all strikers for that team, and they're all fighting to strike, will that team be great? Just imagine this for a minute, that they are all in one team, but they are all the strikers in that team, in one match. So wanangengania mpira, will they do well? The truth is, it's a great team of great team members, but they will not succeed because they are not working together as a team. So I want to encourage you that if you're here and you think that I will succeed by pulling others down, wajua wale watu wanaficha vitabu vya wengine so that they fail, right? You know, you become those kind of people, you want to pull others down, that you only go so far. That the path of excellence requires you to interact with people in a way that enables you to get the best out of each other. As I look at you today, and Sheikh already said, he talked about the circle of friends, that who are you walking with, and are you helping each other? Of course, you know about the fact that you are as good as the 5 people you hang out with, right? Kwa hivyo kama nyinyi watano, all the time, all you talk about ni mpira, it means you become experts at mpira, but you will not develop in any other way. So what am I saying? Ladies at the back, what I'm saying is that your circle really is important. And I'm coming back to emotional intelligence, that you're able to identify, is this a worthwhile circle? Is it a circle that I should be in? But also, what do I need to have better relationships with the people around me? And I'm coming to an end. I am trying to keep time because we are behind schedule. The other thing is personal or deliberate investment in personal growth. I want to ask you a question. How many of you have read a book that is not a textbook? That is not, what do we call hivi vitabu vya fasihi? Sio set book, not a textbook, not a set book. A book on anything else about life. I want to see by a show of hands. I can see a couple of hands. That's a good sign. Not a textbook, not a set book. Excellent. So and that's good, well done. What I want to say about personal growth is that you need to pursue growth. So you imagine, I want to be X. Remember we started off with a vision. I want to be this great person. So you begin reading books to build yourself. But you also ask yourself, what am I weakest in? So for instance, if your problem is about, or your weakness is in discipline, You start reading books that will enable you, that will tell you about people who are extremely disciplined and how they got where they are. So you must invest yourself. And then I ask you, do you have a mentor? Is there somebody you talk to that you ask questions about, how can I do this? Do you have mentors? You must decide that you want to grow and then pursue it. The last thing that I'm going to talk about is investment in mental health. And I'm not going to talk about the details because I believe one of the other speakers is going to talk about mental health. But I want to say that the path of excellence, you must be in the right state of mind. So for any of you that may already be succumbing to the temptation of drugs and substance abuse, that you're not on the path of excellence. I have a sad story to tell. I met a young man who was excellent, brilliant. He sat in my class in first year. And this young man was so brilliant, I noticed him immediately. He said, the very initial words he said in class. Fast forward, somewhere around third year, he started not coming to school. By the time he was supposed to be in fourth year, the others, he sort of dropped off for a while. And then I looked for him, and he came back. But what struck me is that this young man who used to be so brilliant was now stammering. And I wondered, why is he stammering? But because now I interact with young people on a day-to-day basis, I knew. So I asked him, and I don't beat around the bush anymore, I asked him, what are you on? Because immediately I knew he's on something. And he told me what he was on. And so the sad thing is that this young man, by the fact that in first year you could already see the brilliance, means he was already on the path of excellence. But he got into drugs and substance abuse. Within a span of 3 years, in fact, I wondered what sort of drugs this was. He told me what it was, but I thought it must have been laced with something else because it worked so fast to deteriorate his brilliance. Luckily, he went to rehab and improved and is doing well, but it's been a difficult journey. So if you're on the path of excellence, I go back where I started from. The reason why I insisted on vision is because when you have all these temptations and you already had decided that's where I'm going, a temptation that comes, you'll always ask yourself, how will this affect my vision? So you must today, after this meeting, go back home and decide what is your vision. Where am I going? I thank you, and I hope that you join the path of excellence.
Thank you so much, Professor. May her words inspire us to strive for excellence as we are pursuing our academics, and knowing that knowing that knowledge and academics are both a privilege and a responsibility. So I would like to call upon my sister, the head of legal affairs, Msaun Exec, to say a word or two and present a certificate to Professor Sarah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and good afternoon. I won't take much of your time. I'd just like to take 1 minute to show you all what a remarkable panel we have here. Picking Professor Sarah and Dr. Madiha was not random. These were excellent women who are doing excellent in their fields. And that's, I might have been a little bit biased by picking women. I'm sorry, boys. But Professor Sarah just talked about excellence, and she is excellent. She's the Associate Director of the University of Nairobi, Mombasa campus, and she's not just a professor, she's a professor of law of the University of Nairobi. You know what that means? You go from high school, you go to university, you get a degree, you do a master's, you get a master's, you do a PhD, you get a PhD, and then you teach law, and you graduate master students for you to become a professor of the University of Nairobi. So for her to talk about excellence, I want you guys to take it personally and embody that. Before we welcome Dr. Madiha, we also talk about excellence, who is also remarkable in her field. And something else about coming to Mombasa campus, University of Nairobi, and working under Prof. Personally, I went to Abu Huraira, so that's my team here. And I'd just like to tell you all that it's so possible to do it and be remarkable in your team. And when you work with remarkable lecturers, remarkable professors, and they recognize you, you get a first hand. So work and strive for excellence. And with that, I'd like to present the award of recognition to Professor Sarah Kinanjui. Thank you, Prof.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Indeed, I like what Naifin has stressed on, being a professor at the University of Nairobi. University of Nairobi is currently one of the best universities in Africa, not in Kenya, because in Kenya it's the best. In East Africa it's the best. So we are speaking at Africa. And Africa, with the current administration on board, I think your N is going there, because looking at the statistics, so if we can have professors who can speak like her in this house, kwa nini tusiwe the best university in Africa? So thank you so much, Professor. Before the next speaker comes on board, I've been told that we have a small entertainment, kwa sababu kuanzia tuje imekuwa hapa na imekuwa speeches after speeches. So, and I'm not an entertainer. I'm not an entertainer. I'm usually so serious. But because our entertainer has not yet arrived, with the few entertainment I have in myself, I want us to sing one famous nasheed for 2 minutes. Sawa sawa? Sawa sawa? Bismillah. How am I going to do this? Pepo ya dunia ni mama. Boys, ngojeni jamaa. The boys, there is no way mumekuja kidogo. At the same time, baada ya kuja kidogo tena hamtaki kuimba, haiwezekani. So anyway, we can do the two. Okay, pepo ya dunia ni mama, kanifunza kila jema. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think next time we will have a munshida so that he or she can take us through the whole song. So be active. Sawa sawa. The coming speaker is a psychologist. We have mental illness within ourselves. Right now you can see me that I'm okay. Tunyamazeni kidogo. Right now, the way you see me, you can say that this person is okay, but you don't know what is stressing me in my mind. I have a new semester coming in September, so right now I have a lot of things in my mind. So the next speaker who will come here, she will speak on how to tackle the mental illness. As a Form 4, you are almost doing your exams. As a Form 1, what is that is itching your mind? Inakupatia stress mpaka to an extent sometimes unasema I no longer want to study. So I want us to have a very good listening so that we can benefit from her. Sawa sawa? Thank you.
Thank you so much. As Brother Abdul has said, mental health is something so serious, and it affects us in every aspect of our life. Well, our next speaker is Dr. Madiha Salim. She is the director in the Directorate of Career Services, a lecturer in counseling psychology at the Technical University of Mombasa. She's also a member of the Mombasa County Education Board. Additionally, she's the chairperson of the Board of Management of Hamis Secondary School, a counselor supervisor, Kenya Counseling and Psychological Association. And lastly, she has a PhD in education, specializing in guidance and counseling. And today, she will delve into the topic of dealing with mental health. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Dr. Madiha.
Naam. Naona nyuso zina shiny. Wanafunzi kutoka mashule ya upili ya hapa Mombasa wameketi kwa makini. Si kwengine ila ni hapa Koblenz Holini. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh na waamkueni. I have been introduced. I don't need to tell you who I am. I am greatly privileged today to be given this opportunity to talk to young people. I love talking to young people. I'm an educationist. I have worked in the education sector for 30 years. I have interacted with the people your age for a long time. I started my teaching journey at Sheikh Khalifa Secondary School before I dared myself, and I did my master's in education and specialized in guidance and counseling or counseling psychology. I did my PhD in education and continued my journey in guidance and counseling or counseling psychology. Today I stand here in front of you to address you or talk to you about mental health. I was born in Mombasa. I went to Mbaraki Primary School, a public primary school here in Mombasa, and I completed my high school at Coast Girls High School. So I was born in Mombasa, I was raised up in Mombasa, and I made it in Mombasa. So when Professor was talking about excellence, I got even more motivated. I don't think I have arrived yet. I need to work even harder to become a professor like her, if not better. I've been given a very interesting topic, something that is real and it is really affecting the youth. I work at the university, and I have, for a long time, I served as the senior counselor at the university. Under my charge were more than 19,000 students and more than 600 members of staff. I know mental health is a challenge. And where I am, I have witnessed enough students committing suicide. And we're not talking of high school students here. We're talking of the creme de la creme of the community. People who have done very well in high school and are now students at the university. They've committed suicide. The last suicide case I remember was a third-year electrical engineering student who just committed suicide. And it's like every year we bury students from suicide. The time that I have been allocated is only half an hour. I cannot talk much, but I will try. We're looking at mental health. And I will tell you, where I stand, I can see students seated, wearing different uniforms. They don't look sick. But I can tell you, if I'm to run a test, half of you are struggling with mental illness without you knowing. If I am to bring a student, or if one student falls here accidentally, maybe you fall on your chair, and then blood starts oozing from any part of your body. Everybody will be trying to assist that student. And they will offer all sorts of advice. Let us bring Dettol or plaster or whatever. We have to stop the bleeding and whatever. But that student will receive immediate assistance, or anyone else in the community. But mental health cannot be seen. People are suffering, and then they end up wasting away. Just yesterday, when I was at my office, I received a student from Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology. He came for counseling. He's a student in the School of Medicine there. He's dropped out of university at year 4. He's completely messed up. So he came for help. So we have people who are bleeding mentally, and we can see it. Where you stand, you just don't know that there are people who are actually suffering in schools, especially high schools. People who are unable to achieve much because of these huge obstacles in their minds. So I'll just take you very, very briefly through the different mental challenges that you are experiencing and maybe highlight, because there are some of you who may be having these signs and symptoms, so that you know when intervention is important and where to get help. And maybe some of you in your classrooms, amongst your colleagues, or at home, when you start seeing these signs and symptoms, then at least you're able to provide what we call mental health first aid. Dearest sons and daughters, the first very common mental disorder that we have prevalent in the community, generally, by extension to students, are stressor-related disorders. Stressor-related disorders come from what we always hear of stress. People are getting stressed. But what I always tell people, that we have good stress and we have bad stress. The good stress, we call it eustress. Eustress. And the bad stress is what we call distress. Allah has created us in such a way that our bodies can withstand some stress. It can withstand some stress. For example, when you're just about to do your exams, you get stressed. That means you cannot sleep at night. You're just thinking of the exams tomorrow, or the KCSE exams, the Form 4s in the house, just thinking of the KCSE exams. When you're looking for, even when those who are about to get married, when you're getting married next month, you will also be stressed. But then that is good stress. Good stress gives you what we call the adrenaline. It makes you, be super conscious. So you have exams tomorrow, you have not read biology, so you cannot sleep. Because you cannot sleep, you have to wake up very early and start reading. Immediately after you are done with the exams, the body now goes back to its normal position. When you get stressed, so many things happen to your body. We have the body getting affected. The heart starts beating very fast, whether consciously, where you can actually feel the heartbeats. Some people can actually feel the heart beating very fast. Some may not be able to. The pressure goes high. You start having high blood pressure. Though you may not be able to know that, you start sweating. Your body moves now to the fight or the flight mode. The body itself, God has prepared our body in such a way that we can withstand stress. So there is a lot that happens to your body when you get stressed. And then the stressor goes out. You finally get married. You finally do your KCSE exams. You finally travel. Or whatever stressor that has been put your way finally goes away, and now you resume your normal life. You have cleared your KCSE exams, and you've forgotten about exams, and then another stressor comes in, and then you handle that stress, another stressor comes in. We cannot live without stress. You cannot. So what happens is, when the stressor comes in, the body functions change, and then when the stressor goes out, the body assumes its normal state. But when you are constantly in stress mode, then there's definitely going to be wear and tear. That means if your body is on stress mode from January to December, then the body succumbs. Some of us will end up having ulcers. We have wounds in our stomachs, because when you are stressed, the body usually secretes a lot of acid. So you hear 17-year-olds, 15-year-olds having ulcers. Or some of us now start developing other problems, other health-related problems because of stress. So we have stressor-related disorders. We have so many signs and symptoms to show you that you are stressed. We have signs that are physical in nature. Like, for example, you feel tired all the time. When you wake up in the morning, you feel tired. And you ask yourself, what have I done to feel this way? You feel, some people eat a lot when they're stressed. Some people refuse to eat. Some people get restless, they get agitated. So there are many, many signs and symptoms. Sometimes you go to hospital, you have a headache today, a headache that does not go away. Next time you go to hospital, you're told you are physically okay, there's no problem with you. Some people cry a lot. I've seen, especially the girls, they cry all the time. And when you ask them, what is the problem, what is the challenge, they tell you, I just feel like crying. That's another sign of stress. The list is very, very long. There are many ways of relieving yourself from stress. You know yourself best. You know yourself better than anyone else. Don't get stressed up when people are reading the entire night and you cannot keep up with their pace. We have different ways of absorbing the information. Some of us can sit on that table from 9 up to Fajr time, and they're okay. So because your friend is telling you that they hit 8 hours the entire night reading, and you want to do the same. As Professor has said, we are wired differently. We achieve excellence differently. There are some of us who have the strength to read for long hours. Some of us have to cut it into pieces. We read for 1 hour, we relax. Some of us prefer group discussions as compared to reading alone, and so on and so forth. At your level, what will definitely stress you will be academics. Some of us also have challenges at home. Some of us are from broken families. Some of us are orphans, and we have so many responsibilities at home. Our growth as young adults or as high school students is not like the others. We have so many other challenges. But then I know the government has made it compulsory for all the schools to have departments of guidance and counseling so that you can go and let off steam. You know, one of the most interesting ways of releasing stress that I find it to be very effective and to be very powerful, and it has gone through studies, is to smile. Can you please smile? Yes. Even when you fake the smile, the stress level goes down. Hey, dearest men, smile. Yes. That according to prophetic teachings, according to the teachings of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we are told that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's face used to beam with a smile all the time. You know, when you smile, there are certain neurotransmitters. We call this one serotonin and dopamine. These are hormones that we release in the brains that automatically reduces the stress level. So that is stressor related. And then we have another disorder that is becoming very common. At least I have seen enough students going through. We call it mood disorders. We looked at stressor-related disorders. We're looking at mood disorders. Under mood disorders, we have what we call bipolar. These days, you hear people talking about bipolar. At least there's some awareness. Bipolar, and then we have depression. Bipolar is another mental health challenge. You know, people don't understand these things. The challenge with mental health is people don't know that this is mental health. Somebody needs help, and they're not aware that this one, I have tended to clients repeatedly. When you inform the parents or the significant others that this one has a mental disorder, they refuse to listen. And they tell you, personally, my husband, he will tell you, you have an explanation to everything. You have an explanation. If I tell you this, you say it's a disorder. If I give you this, it's a disorder. You have so many disorders. I say, yes, but we have research, and it is true we have these disorders, and you can actually come in and help these people with these disorders so that they can live productive lives. So we have bipolar. Those with bipolars, and my experience, I have seen many of my clients are male with bipolar. They have episodes of mania and hypomania. Mania, meaning they become extremely active, not the normal active. They become extremely, extremely active. One day, they are high up there. The other day, they are depressed. And you ask yourself, is this the same person? Last week, he was like this. This week, he doesn't want to talk to anybody. Then we have the major depression. And major depression is also becoming very common in the community. This is a dangerous disorder because it is the one that pushes people to suicide, or what we call suicidal ideation. Major depression, where somebody now has crossed the red line, where somebody does not want to live the way they were living. They're not interested in friends anymore. They're not interested in their studies anymore. They're not interested in basic hygiene anymore. They're not interested in eating. Either they sleep a lot or they don't sleep at all. They neglect themselves completely. They keep to themselves. Then now they move into the suicidal ideation stage. And it's very easy for these people to commit suicide because they have started imagining things that are not in existence. So we have the mood disorders. Under mood disorders, I said we have bipolar and we have depression. And then we have psychotic disorders. Psychotic disorders are characterized by what we call hallucination and delusion. I'm sorry, I'm teaching you a bit of psychology. But I want you to understand these signs and symptoms so that you can assist each other. Psychotic disorders are also becoming very common. And this depression that we have just listed under mood disorders, if you have somebody going through depression, they usually show signs of psychosis. And these are the signs of psychosis. There are two major signs of psychosis. We have what we call delusion and hallucination. Delusion means false beliefs. They believe in things that are not real. False beliefs, for example, under delusion, we have the delusion that we call erotomanic delusion, where somebody believes that they are in love. Somebody loves them. I've seen it even at the university where I teach. Okay? So you imagine, there was a day when I was in my office and there was a lot of commotion in one of the lecture rooms. So when I asked what was happening, I saw a girl being brought to my office, and this girl had covered her face completely, like that. And she was telling me that she is waiting for Jeff Koinange. You know Jeff Koinange of Citizen TV? Yes. Jeff Koinange is in love with her. Okay? So that is a false belief. We call it erotomatic under delusion. There are some, they have what we call persecutory, meaning they believe that there are people who want to kill them. And they literally believe there are people who want to finish them. We have somatics. Many of you have somatic disorder. They always feel they are sick. When they are taken to hospital, they are given clean bill of health. They do not have any sickness. Today they say, I feel my lungs are tight. They go to hospital, they run x-rays, and they are told there is nothing wrong with you. That's a somatic. We call that somatic. They believe they are sick. There are some of your colleagues in school, if you are not here, then at least you are friends, who are always sick from January to December. They are always sick. And they move around with Panadol and robe and many other gadgets in their handbags. So they are there, isn't it? So we have, this is what we call false belief. And then we have another one that we call it delusion of grandiose, where they feel they are the only ones who know everything. There are some of us who believe that they have the solutions to the problems of the world, isn't it? They are the ones who know everything. They are perfect. Then we have hallucinations. Hallucinations, now when you hear your friend telling you this, know that that friend of yours needs help urgently. Or you will lose that friend. Today you are with her, tomorrow she's committed suicide. Hallucination comes this way. Number one, it affects the sight. They start seeing things that other people cannot see. So many times we think that they have been bewitched, yet they have mental illness. So they will tell you there is a snake there. And you tell them there is no snake. But this person tells you, I see a snake. So that is the beginning of hallucination. This person cannot be talked to. This is a person needs immediate psychiatric intervention. It affects the way they see. They see things other people cannot see. They hear. And this is dangerous because they hear sounds. Sometimes the sound tells them, move, go to the bridge and throw yourself. Or go and board the ferry and throw yourself. They just don't do it. There's usually a sound that they hear that nobody else can hear. Some of them have tactile hallucination where they feel their things creeping on their skin. Some will tell you, I feel there are things that are coming out of my skin, yet there is nothing. So these are signs of somebody who has serious mental illness. We have what we call schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is a serious mental illness, and many a times people are born with it. Many times we have people who have schizophrenia, they're the ones who walk around naked. Here in Mombasa, we call them wandawazimu. Okay? So these people with schizophrenia, they also have psychotic symptoms. People with bipolar, the one that I've just mentioned, they also go through these psychotic symptoms. Then apart from psychotic disorders, we also have personality disorders. Personality is the way you are. I am different from the way you are. Okay? So we all have a personality. But then some of us, our personality has issues. Either because you have certain mental disorders that has affected you. We say you are born with certain genes that makes you more susceptible to have these personality disorders. For example, we have people in our classrooms, in a high school setup, that will steal, they will pick money from other people's school bags and so on, and they don't feel anything about it. These people are not thieves. We say these people have antisocial personality disorder. They will steal without feeling any remorse. We have so many other personality disorders. We have narcissistic personality disorder. These are people who have exaggerated egos. They feel they're the best, that nothing can happen without them, that they are perfect in everything. They are usually not normal. These people need help. We have avoidant personality disorder. These are people who cannot stand here in front of people. They are very, very shy, extremely shy, not normal shy. They're usually extremely shy. We have those who have histrionic personality disorder. These are people who love creating drama everywhere. We call them drama queens and drama kings. When they are there, you will notice them. So these are people who also need help. Because of time, I will just rush you through. Can I have your attention, ladies and gentlemen in the house? I'm a teacher by profession. Then we have what really affects people your age are the substance abuse disorder. We had the governor and the members of parliament making a lot of noise about Mugoka, because Mugoka and the other substances, I think even the professor here was giving you an example of a student who started using drugs, and had to drop, and it actually disturbed the academic life of this student. It is just too common. Students are smoking bang, and they are chewing migoka and all sorts of drugs, and it actually takes a toll on their mental soundness. So we have drug abuse psychosis. If you are to go to Portree's mental hospital today, I took my students to Portree's last semester, and the people in charge are saying a majority here, the cases of mental disorders admission at Portree's mental hospital, majority is as a result of abuse of migoka and bangi. So those who take migoka and bangi, they exhibit signs and symptoms of psychosis. The one that I've just said, they're imagining things that are not present. Where I work at the university, we have a crisis. We have a huge problem of drug-induced psychosis. We have students abusing alcohol. We have students abusing bang. I don't want to say at the university we have so many cases of migoka. There, a majority take illicit liquor, or even the alcohol that they buy from supermarkets, they take, and then it messes them up completely. And then lastly, we talk of eating disorders. Eating disorders is actually a mental disorder. There are some of you who have a problem and you need psychiatric treatment. We call it eating disorder. Some of you have what we call anorexia nervosa. And some of you have bulimia. Anorexia nervosa is where some of you refuse to eat food because you are scared of gaining weight, until such a time that you become extremely thin. You lose kilos because you are scared of growing fat. So that is what we call anorexia nervosa, and you need to be taken for psychiatric treatment, okay? And then we have the other one, bulimia, where some people, they will eat a lot, and then they will put fingers in their mouth and then vomit. You take a whole cake, 1 kilogram cheesecake or chocolate cake. You finish everything, and then you go to the toilet and you stuff yourself with fingers so that you can throw up. Again, that is a mental illness, and you need help. Then we have the last one, anxiety disorders. Some of us have anxiety disorders. We get anxious all the time. We have phobias. Some of you are scared of taking escalators. Some of us are scared of taking the plane. These are disorders, and you need help. Some of us are scared of lizards and cats and so on and so forth. So we classify that under phobia and anxiety disorders. So when you realize that you need help, time is up, I want to wind up. When you realize that you need help yourself, in schools we have departments of guidance and counseling. At the university, we also have vibrant departments of guidance and counseling. If you cannot talk at home with your parents, then talk to your teachers. If you cannot talk with your teachers, I know most schools have peer counselors. Talk to your peers. And if you feel you are okay, but if you see these signs and symptoms from your friends and your colleagues, please ask for help. Because mental illness is very fragile. Tomorrow, you will be talking of, oh, I didn't know she was sick. We have lost many students, including Muslim students, who have committed suicide. We lost a student from School of Business. He's a Muslim young man. He committed suicide on his bed at home. In the presence, the mother was not there, but at least it was in his bedroom. When they opened the bedroom, he was seated, a third-year university student doing business. So this has catched up with us. We have repeated cases of self-harm. Some have so many cases of students who take razor blades and then they cut themselves into tiny little pieces and they don't feel the pain. So mental health is real, and I am glad that Msaun has found this to be of importance and people have started talking of mental health. So thank you so much. I'm glad that the hall is full to the brim. I hope you have benefited. Shukran. Hamujanipigia makofi vizuri. Hold it. See, I am a teacher. I have to show you that I am a teacher, isn't it? I'm not a lawyer. I am a teacher, isn't it? So I have to be in charge of my class, isn't it? Did you benefit from Madam's presentation? Did you benefit? Yes. Did you benefit from the presentation that was made in the morning? Did you benefit? Yes. And you've been benefiting as we are progressing, isn't it? See, these students from University of Nairobi have really tried to arrange this, isn't it? Yes. See, you want them to know that you are happy, isn't it? Yes. See, you are happy. Yes. See, you are very happy. Yes. If you are happy and you know, clap your hands. If you are happy and you know, clap your hands. If you are happy and you know, and you want them to know, if you are happy and you know, clap your hands.
Thank you so much, Dr. Madiha. Thank you for sharing your expertise with us. Your insights were truly enlightening. Next, I would like to call on stage once again Sister Naifin Najim to present the certificate of recognition to Dr. Madiha.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah once again. I told you guys that we did not pick a random panel, that we were selective and deliberate in this. I met Dr. Madiha just once. I was volunteering for Al-Basira Integrated School. And she just came and she spoke to us. I don't think she remembers me, but she said something remarkable about also pursuing excellence as a mother and doing it despite having little children and still going out there. And the way she talked to us and just having that, you know, us, especially in Mombasa, that you can't achieve this, that you have to pick, you can achieve. You see, we see our remarkable women here achieving it and doing it all. So thank you so much, Dr. Madiha, for your support, and I'd like to present this award to you.
Thank you so much for the wonderful gesture that we have given to Dr. Madiha. She is a lecturer at the Technical University of Mombasa. And I guess if my statistics tells me right, then Technical University of Mombasa is the best university at the coast region, yani, if that is what is right. So thank you so much, Doctor, for the wonderful speech and presentation that you have made. We need every time before we sleep, we need to have an inner conversation with ourselves. What is it that is eating me up every day before I sleep? So, and whatever is stressing you out, you need to speak to someone. I believe most of the schools, you have counselors, you have teachers in charge of guidance and counseling. Ensure you reach out to these students. And she has just given up an example of students committing suicide. It is happening in Nairobi. We have students getting A's. We have students struggling, their parents struggling to put them at the university. A student amekuja at the university, ameenda kujiingiza kwa mambo yasiyoeleweka, amekuwa na girlfriend, then siku hiyo ameona girlfriend anatembea na mwanamume mwingine, ana commit suicide. A student doing architecture at the University of Nairobi. You can see how sick it is. That is why when we started our speeches, we started by our sheikh and his back. He spoke on youth and morality, moral values. We went now to speak on academic excellence. After the academic excellence from professor, we had mental well-being. Hizi zote zina relate. You cannot you cannot pursue academic excellence if you have mental health issues that are triggering you to achieve your success. You cannot succeed kama your akhlaq, your moral values are not okay. Na kuna msemo mmoja wa Swahili, siku zote mganga mwenye kufanya watu wawe tajiri, mbona yeye mwenyewe si tajiri? Ukweli ama uongo? Ukweli ama uongo? Kwa nini wewe kama mganga waniambia nije utapata kazi nzuri nini, lakini wewe mwenyewe hali yako ni duni? We need to think on that. Looking at the program, we have already exhausted all the speakers we had for the morning session. They have already spoken. Right now, we are going to have a brief question and answer session. We'll take only one question from the ladies' side and one question from the gents' side. And these questions should be directed to our chaplain. I think, Sheikh, you can come forward. And also, Professor. And as we are thinking of asking these questions, I want us to think on the scope of University of Nairobi, because this event has been organized by the Muslim Student Association of the University of Nairobi. What is it that you want to know about University of Nairobi as well? Why is it that students studying at University of Nairobi, why is it that you cannot go to University of Nairobi if your marks are not that good compared to other universities in the country? So right now the floor is open. We are going to have that session. And also just to say, on the stage we have my brother and a colleague. He's one of the panelists in the afternoon. Why has he seated here? I want you to understand that the type of panel we are going to have in the afternoon. Panel ambao watakuwa hapa are youths like you and me. Tutawa challenge because we cannot ask them a question ambao wao wenyewe hawajapitia, and they are going to answer us on that. So anyone with any question? If you have a question, you can just raise up your hand so that the mic is being passed.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Sophia from Class 7 School. My question is about health. I'm a student. I have stress at home, maybe at school, even I have some stress with the teachers, students. I don't know which option I should use because I don't feel free to talk about my personalities to teachers or students, or maybe my father or my mom. Even though I have sisters and brothers, but I don't feel free to share. So, which selection or which would I, which option will I choose? Because there's sometimes I just think, take ablution, pray to rakas, just cry in the salah, not knowing what to do. It affects my studies. So, what should I do to?
Thank you so much. Maybe we can have the next question so that the here at a go. You will answer, then he will add
okay.
the Islamic perspective.
Is there any other question? May we please have your attention? Let's have your attention. I'm almost calling the mwalimu to tell us again how to get your attention. Right. So a question has been asked. If I may have your attention, please. Us to answer it from our own personal experiences and also just our experiences as educators. I think that's a really, really important question because a lot of times when we talk to students, we tell them, oh, you have a guidance and counseling department in your school, and we almost force you to take that option. But sometimes you don't feel free to go there. So should you just sit there and wallow in your stress? The answer to that is that as individuals, we are in a community, right? And remember when I was talking about mentorship, and I was saying, do you have mentors? When you talk about mentors, it doesn't have to be an academic mentor. There are family mentors. I believe there's probably an auntie somewhere who may be a good person to talk to. I don't know from the religious perspective, that perhaps even within the religious system, there is somebody that you can talk to. So what am I saying? Don't limit your options to the formal system. There are other informal systems that you can always use and seek out. But also, even your friends. I think sometimes we just say, because you're young people, you can't help each other. There are certain friends that you know are wise, and they can actually assist you even as you deal with stress. But I think the point that we would like to make is that just ensure that you always have a circle of people you can talk to. And it's so important, even when you get to an age such as I am, even if I may be a professor of law, would it shock you to know that even myself, I do have mentors and people that I talk to give me advice? So it's really important that you have people that you can talk to and develop those relationships. It's not just your teachers. Sheikh?
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum once again. Alhamdulillah. The question raised by our daughter or our sister, young sister, is a pertinent issue. And sometimes maybe it is difficult, as she say, even to approach a very close relative, like father, mother, elder sister or brother, on the issue she wants to talk about. And you know, stress is it's one. As long as you sit with the stress, it continue doubling up. Ni kama wakati moja there was a professor ambaye alikuwa before beginning a class, before he commenced his class, he asked, for example, a bottle of water. There's a glass, not a bottle. He did ask a question. How many ml is this bottle? 500. It's known here. But in a glass, maybe it's not known. For example, if you hold this bottle for a second, what happens? No? Just a second. What happens? Nothing here. If you hold it up like this for a minute, what happens? For 1 hour? 24 hours? What happens? Maybe your hand will go numb. Therefore, it is similar to stress. If you keep within yourself, it will continue eating you up. Slowly, 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 till a time of no return. It will reach a point of no return. And you know, health-wise, it will also eat you up. You know, stress will bring obesity, heart disease, kidney, and so many other complications. Therefore, what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do ikiwa hatuwezi kuspit out? Hatuwezi kuzungumza. In Islam, ikiwa huwezi kuzungumza, you're not able to talk to any, then you turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us, na he practically taught us, whenever alipokuwa stressed, the first thing he used to do is kneel down in prayer. Kneel down in prayer. Pray 2 rakah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to relieve you of the stress. That is one. 2, that is number 1. 2, we have so many adhkar. Morning adhkar, evening adhkar, while you are going out of the house, inside the house, going into the mosque, coming out of the mosque, traveling in a matatu or whatever. These adhkar assist so much. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Ra'd, Surah Ibrahim, tells us, Ala bidhikrillahi, ala bidhikrillahi, tatma'innul qulub. Know that in the remembrance of Allah, do heart find solace, find tranquility. Kwa hivyo, the second one is adhkar. The third one is dua. And in a small booklet, Hisnul Muslim, small booklet, either pocket size, you can find it in Arabic only, or Arabic and English translation, Arabic and Swahili translation, Arabic and Somali translation. Buy it. Maybe it's 100 bobian. And then there are dua. One of the dua is the dua of stress. They are there. Kwa hivyo, jaribu sana, prayer, and then supplications, and then adhkar, and also the recitation of the Quran. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will inshallah relieve you of the stress you are having.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sheikh. And just to add on one thing, Allah tells us in the Quran, Ala bi dhikrillahi tatma'inna al-qulub. Anytime something is eating up your mind, remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Kuna adhkar, kuna njia nyingi za kumpraise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But it's so nice to speak to someone. So nice. And this world, watu ni wengi sana. You cannot miss anyone to speak to. We are coming to the end of the morning session, and I want to give the following guidelines. Number 1, we will all go to pray at the TSS mosque. TSS, ama? Yaitwa TSS. Kuna msikiti hapa mbele, I think it's TSS mosque. We have spoken to the management, our sisters, there is a place for you. to pray. So our gents, taswali jamaa na wanaume wengine. For our sisters, there is a place for you. After prayers, we are going to serve lunch hapa ndani. For the teachers, partners, guests who are not students, we are going to use the University of Nairobi Plaza. There is a room prepared for your lunch. For our students, we are going to come back to the hall. There is a lunch being packed for you. Sawa sawa. Let us avoid movement hapa around. Hata kama tutakuwa na hiyo lunch break, let us avoid crossing the roads up and down. We don't want to handle any case during the day. So after lunch, takuwa tumekaribia our afternoon session, which will be more interesting because the afternoon session we are going to have a one-on-one conversation with some of the youths ambao wako in different universities, and they will speak on some of the things they find relevant for you guys to hear. Allow me to recognize the presence of all the partners. Some hatujawataja, but they have made this event a success, especially the Dean of Students. Our Dean was supposed to be here, but due to unavoidable circumstances, he couldn't make it to this event. I think the earlier posters zilikuwa zina indicate that he will be here. So he has passed his sincere apologies. Inshallah, next time he will be there with us. I think we can break. There is any announcements from the organizing team? Any information or any announcement? There is no. So I think we can break. And when we break, we have desk. We have a desk behind there for the Imperial Education Consultants, where you can go and listen to what they have to offer. We have another desk outside for the Africa Education Development Trust. You can also go and inquire from them. So let us meet immediately after prayers for the lunch, inshallah. Shukran and stay safe.
فننفعنا بما علمتنا رب علمنا الذي ينفعنا رب فقهنا وفقه أهلنا وقرابات لنا في ديننا